guys, welcome back to our podcast called Difficult
Dish,
a podcast about different South Asian narratives. I am your co-host Mahua Khan.
I'm your co-host Mashnu.
And today's episode we are talking about how to have electric, attractive energy.
How do you do it?
Right? And if you guys don't know what that is, we'll talk about it later on in the episode. But we're going to talk about some people that we know in our lives personally, maybe on social media and media in general, who do have this electric energy.
Magnets.
Exactly. They have like this magnetic energy that we admire, that we personally love having in our lives. And also some of our tips to also become attractive, like mentally, and be like an attractive piece of energy.
Yeah, I got 5 tips. She got 5 tips.
Yeah.
Together, that's
10, if you guys didn't know.
And then after that, we're following that with some of you guys' responses about.
But we say 5, but then we end up talking a lot more than 5.
Yeah,
so you guys might have actually dozens. Okay. So before we get started.
Yeah, good one.
How's life been?
Yeah, what's up? Just went to Florida.
Yeah.
Florida, how you feel? Florida girl, Florida trip. How was your trip?
You
Talk
simply
to
can't
me.
take
1
the
to 10.
Florida nature out of the New York City girl.
I think you can.
No,
right?
you know I thrive off of nature though.
Yeah, but New York City girls don't have, naturism in them.
But
you see what you just said, I really don't understand. All right,
Bangladesh.
All right,
Florida.
Bangladesh.
Like I'm at heart, Bengali people. We love our like gardens in the
I don't know.
back. We love our flowers. We love our water.
I don't know. Favorite flower?
I don't have sunflower. He brought me to us. He surprised me with a sunflower garden in Florida. But anyway, it's just like those things you don't get as often in New York. Obviously, we have our parks, we have our water in New York, but it's just not as like accessible, I guess. We don't drive as often here. And so when I got to Florida, I'm like, it's time. It's
time to go.
It's time to shine.
It's called in that mode.
In that mode.
That's what you call it. Favorite thing you did in Florida?
So something that was actually pretty special that he took me to is something called a spring, right?
These springs, not a spring.
These springs. I don't know. Okay, he didn't tell me what it was. I don't know what it was. I didn't know what it was until I got there.
I've never had to explain what the springs are.
He also didn't tell me to bring like swimming gear, right? So that's how you know, like, oh, it's probably just like a walking around park type of thing. You see wells, like, geezers, whatever. And so we're on our way, and he's like, yeah, we're going to the springs. We need like a bathing suit. And I'm like, what are springs, Yeah. And so then we had to stop at Target to get some gear. And then we get to this like lake/park, and apparently springs, what I learned that day, is like this natural form of body of water, that where the water comes from like a lake or a river.
Yeah.
And the water is very clear. You can swim in it. It's kind of essentially like a lake. And there's rocks on the floor, tiny fish you can swim with.
Mm-hmm.
The rocks are very slippery, so be careful. There's also sand on the floor, like essentially a lake, right?
Yeah.
And I was just so mind blown.
Are we just gonna like not bring up like the main reason we went there?
Oh yeah. So the main reason we actually went to Florida was to you guys might know I have a clothing.
She got new collection coming out. Okay, she's taking too long. She has a new collection coming out. It's beautiful. It fits. Like, I don't know, something about like being outside with it, with like the wind in it. Like the only time I tried it on was just like indoors.
That's why I wanted it to be in Florida.
Like it really hits different.
I
like wearing it out.
I wanted the fluidity to be in the shirt. That's the reason I wanted it to be by the water, by the beach.
Feel you.
To have some movement.
And it did good.
Yeah.
And so you really had a crazy photographer too. Like you really had a crazy photographer, creative director, like art director, like moderator of the situation.
You
did
good.
I'm telling you, when these pictures come out,
you're getting all the tags.
So who did it, my boy?
And the edits too.
Yeah. All right.
That was a good little segue. That's
enough. Yeah, no. Thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast. Yeah, what's up? What are we talking about today?
So yeah, this man came up to me with the idea of how to have attractive magnetic energy.
Yeah.
Right? And this was very interesting to me because I never expected you to like think of this topic really, because we personally have never really talked about it. I feel like the other topics, like we've kind of talked about different, like it in different realms. This topic we've talked about, obviously, like how to be a better friend, how to be like a better person in general, but we've never really used like the words magnetic or attractive like energy.
Okay.
So like why did you come up with this idea?
I don't know. I think I've just been going through like a personal renaissance of
renaissance
of like how I will navigate like my relationships with people and communicating with people, because I've always been like one narrow type of person when it comes to like friends or communication. Like, you know I'm often not the most approachable person. Not that I'm not a nice, loving, fun guy. I am, but
yeah, you are.
You know, like I it's hard for me to like open up and break out of my shell like towards the beginning of like meeting people, or just like retaining like friendships. Like I talked about this in my solo episode a couple episodes ago, how I've been trying to like reestablish how I will go about presenting myself to people. We've talked about this too. It's just something that's been on my mind a lot, and it's something that I've also been noticing a lot more from people like around me, like like my friends like Jake and Soham. Like I've always just been their friends, but I think recently I've been like trying to look at what it is that they're like, what do I like about them when we're speaking, or when we're out with like other people, and just like being more aware of like what's going on, and I'm just trying to take notes and stuff.
I'm interested to hear like a male perspective on this, because I feel like when I hear about magnetic or attractive energy, I usually just hear like feminine before that, or like just girls speak about it. So I'm interested to see like what you think of to become more of like a attractive individual for your friends, and
good thing I'm gonna talk about it.
But yeah, I feel like a lot of people want to have better friends, and they want to find like their dream lifelong partner, but they're not at that place yet where they can like give the best versions of themselves to that person yet, or those people yet. So like this is kind of cool to talk about.
I think what also inspired is I saw it was just like something that I scrolled past on Twitter. Somebody Naval, he in like an interview, he said, and he was like networking is overrated. Just create something. Actually, I don't want to.
Let's read it out loud.
I wrote it down.
Let's read it out loud.
I wrote it down
verbatim.
Naval, networking is overrated. Go do something great, and your network will instantly emerge. Feel me? So he's talking in the career business aspect, but like you could take that anywhere. It's you work on yourself, you work on creating something substantial yourself, whatever that means, whether a product, artwork, or just personal like development. You work on that and your network will emerge.
I agree with that.
And how you feel about that?
No, I agree with that.
Okay.
That's why I feel like if you are genuinely like a good person that people not look up to, but like can trust and can refer to, then that's how you build those like genuine relationships and like build outward,
right?
But you did mention that like
what I mentioned, you
are not the best person to, how do I say this nicely, like you don't have like the attractive energy that you want to be.
I'm ugly.
Okay, no, bro. Yes. Like you're not where you want to be as like as like a friend, or like
right.
What do you like in your friends that they have that you want to kind of exude more of? Like you mentioned your friends Jake and Soham.
I think the first thing that came to my mind is just the way that they wear it on their face. I think whatever it is that they're doing, whatever it is, if they're being active listeners, if they're adding on to your conversation, whatever it is, it's the way that they present themselves and the way that they just wear it on their face. That's like we be having a conversation, and like I could be listening to everything you're saying. I could be gearing up to give you the best response in the world. But like my face could be like this. Like it seems and if you're listening, like not watching, like I'm trying to say, like you could look super disinterested, but like still, and I feel like that's how I've always been. And it's like I'm not trying to look disinterested. What you won't stop nodding. It's like true. I'm not trying to be like that. Like in conversation, I really am listening, and like whether I zone out or sometimes not, like whatever, but like I really am listening. I'm trying to be like as involved in the conversation, like I'm gearing up for something to say, but like I'll look like I hate you. and I don't want to be like true. That. And like presentation matters, and when it comes to like very close people, like I could be whoever I want. That's one thing, but I'm talking about when it comes to like if I enter a room, or if I show up to like one of my friend's house, he's having like a dinner and there's 12 people there and I don't know 10 of them, I can't have that energy. Like yes, this is like my best friend, and like we're all here to like mingle, have a good time, and like there's not going to be any bad blood or anything, but I still have to worry about my presentation, you know, and it's, like, not even like clothing or like, but it's just like when you're communicating with somebody and when you're trying to like establish like who you are going to be like in the world that you're trying to navigate, like it's, you have to not worry, but like you have to be mindful about how other people are interpreting what you are presenting them, you know.
It's true. A celebrity that I really think exudes like positive energy and attractive energy is Bella Hadid.
Okay, how?
You know,
what you like
just
about
because
her?
I saw this one interview of her the other day with Drew Barrymore, and all she did was just like bring her some crystals and just tell her like, oh yeah, this made me think of you, like you can pick out of these 2 crystals, whichever one you want to pick, we can kind of like twin with the crystals. And it's such a small gesture, but like what I'm gonna mention later on in the episode is just like when you think of the other person in just like very small ways, it just shows that you care. And also she speaks very like positively, you know, there's like this airiness in her where everything just like, I don't know, there's just like this positive,
it's like she
energy that exudes out of her.
She probably speaks like you know, we talk about like a abundance mindset, you know, and like just
gratitude,
the wording that you choose when like you talk to somebody, like speaking like there's so much to be happy for in the world.
Like it's not about her like how high she's speaking, it's not about like the way she's making her voice sound, it's more about like how she's saying words, just like it's not as negative as there are some people are, you know, how some people are.
Yeah, me.
No. I don't think you're negative.
Nah, I just get like I don't know. I just zone out. Like I just
I get it, but it's like your ADHD. It's not you as a person.
Okay, but
that's
it's
something
like,
that you need to like get some support with. You know.
You know, I can't just be dropping. Sorry, guys, my ADHD. Like I can't be like dropping that. You know.
Yeah, you can.
Walk into. A room.
I also have a really good friend, Aria, and I feel like she also has very attractive energy. And why I think that, I mean, there's a lot of reasons, but one specific reason that I really like is that she's very supportive and like complimentary. Like she'll always like egg you on in a positive way, and she'll always like support you when you're feeling down, and it never makes it feel like she's saying that to just make you feel better, but she genuinely believes it. And she also doesn't like not compliment you just because she's like feeling insecure herself, you know, like she doesn't feel like it's gonna dim her light if you are going up.
I like people like that.
Yeah.
Shout out Aria.
Yeah.
How you feel like you are? You know, what kind of person you think you are? You think you're good at this? Like, what can you work on? Like, what's up?
I think that I have a pretty like positive energy.
You do.
Yeah.
We talked about this.
You think I have like attractive energy?
I do, because I think you know, you're not shallow. Like you're not a shallow person when it comes to talking to somebody. Like even if you're not being like the most like intuitive or like asking somebody question after question, it's like you are president. You are not president.
Hey, yo.
Never ever.
First
you are
president.
Present.
Yeah. I try to be
in conversation, and even for whatever reason, if you are not, you still try your best to, you know, look the part and like make the other person feel seen, you know. And I'm not the best at that, but you are quite good at that.
I try my best, Jit.
The hell's wrong with you?
Right. You want to get started, buddy? What are some tips you
got? Okay. First tip I got is triple down on yourself.
Oof. You gotta break that down.
Triple down on yourself.
Break that one down.
You know what that means?
No.
I don't know either.
Okay.
It means like it can mean, you know, all facets of things.
Right.
Feel me? So it's like one way it's like know yourself. Be confident with yourself. Be aware of who you are. Don't ever try to be something or somebody that you're not, especially when it comes to like, you know, when it comes to this topic. That is the most important thing. It's like you cannot be a magnet and be like fictional and be like not yourself. Like you gotta practice,
like you gotta be authentically yourself.
Yeah. And you have to, and also like it's like you think about like some like the people that become successful in the world, like they always have like their own edge, like they always have like their own like uniqueness to them, and like it comes from you being just so unapologetically you, even if it, you know, I think people get mixed up or people get confused when it comes to like originality or like uniqueness. Like you don't have to be like you don't have to try to be the most interesting person in the world or like try to be the most knowledgeable person in the world. Like you just have to try your best to be yourself, and like you're gonna carve your own lane. You know, it's like the carving comes from just being you. Like you can't I can't try to be Shah Rukh Khan my whole life, because I'm never gonna I'm just in Shah Rukh Khan's path, you know. Like I gotta try to do my own thing. You know, so even if you're like don't know where you're going or like you don't think you're like the most interesting, it's like you're setting yourself up, you're setting yourself apart from everybody else in the world if you just do you, because there's only one of you. You know, so trip it out on yourself, like know yourself, continue to practice yourself, practice your skills, practice elevating, or not like continue to elevate yourself. And that's gonna help carve you your own
Can I
path.
ask a question? Why did you choose to use like those words as like why couldn't you just say like, oh, like practice like self-assurance? Because like that just makes it a little bit confusing.
Triple down on yourself. Listen, I'm just like, you know, like a I
understand you're a poet, but it's just like
just like a clickbait or like a thumbnail, you know. So it's like, you know, you gotta worry about the headlines. You know, I can't just say like be you. Man, I said that shit. Man, I told y'all that shit. Y'all click off. Be you. I know that's one of the ones you got. Be happy.
That's not true.
Be grateful.
But yeah, on the same vein of kind of what you said, it's very important to have like self-confidence, whatever that looks like for you. Like if that means going to the gym frequently to have that like confidence in your body, if that means working on your passions and being head down and just like being confident in your skills and your just like career, if that also means just like fashion wise, you dressing confidently walking into a room, just have that self-assurance in yourself so that first of all you feel attractive like physically, and you feel like you're doing all you can to make yourself a better person, so that you can also expect that in your, you know, long-term partner, in a friend, whatever it is, and also give them the support to be better themselves. Because if you are insecure, if you're, you know, not feeling the best about yourself and you're constantly like giving hater energy, you know, if you're like scrolling through social media and you're just like seeing other people successful and you're just like, oh my god, why can't that be me? You're not going to be like the best person to be around, because you're just giving like negative vibes, you know. You're not really supporting the person genuinely for the most part. Obviously there are people that aren't the happiest with their lives, but they're still great friends. I'm not talking about that, but I'm more so talking about just like making yourself a better person and then expecting that from your partner and like your longtime friends, and giving them the same like motivation, you know. Because I feel like when I think of attractive energy, it's when I know a person that's just like 100% sure of themselves and they've like built themselves up from the ground up, and they can now give that back to like someone else, you know?
Yeah.
Like that one?
Yeah. People deserve it. You know, people around you deserve the best you.
Yeah.
They're around for a reason.
Like, it's so important to have someone. I mean, obviously, like, you know, we all have our insecurities. We all have like our low points in life. But it's like if you're constantly with a friend that's just like bringing you down and they're always down, like I get it. Like there's going to be points where some things are going to bring you down more, you know, than other things. But if they're always like that, it's just very draining, you know? And like I'm also not telling you to be fake positive all the time, because that's also not healthy. But it's important to just like surround yourself with people that uplift you and you uplift them, and it's just like vice versa, good energy. And
don't bring other people down, you know, because other people are working hard to bring themselves up. So who the heck are you trying to bring them down, you know? What's up?
Well, that was one of my things.
What was it? What's like the headline?
Why does there always need to be?
What's the bullet point? So
the bullet point is have self-confidence, whatever that means for you, so you can show up for other people.
Long as bullet point.
Why does it have to be short?
Okay. I got another one. This is a good one.
Okay.
Because this is something that I do. This is something that I do that I'm proud of for doing. Recognize potential over achievements. Think about it. Because a lot of time, you know, in this world of like social media, like being friends with people that are like doing stuff online, and you know, people that are, you know, chasing, you know, platforms or followings, or you know, just like benchmarks and goals and stuff, like that's all we're trying to do. Whether, you know, whether you're off social media, you know, your benchmark is graduating, getting a job, blah blah, whatever. Everybody has benchmarks, everybody has goals. Especially people of our generation, especially brown people, you know, we all have things that we are chasing. It is important to recognize somebody who is in the midst of chasing whatever they're chasing over the award, you know, because obviously it's important to recognize, like, if somebody has their PhD, obviously you congratulate them for having a PhD. Yeah. But it's like, if you have a friend that is in the midst of getting their PhD, you have to show them the same, if not even more, recognition and appreciation for the journey that they're embarking on and the potential that they are showing. Or maybe in another situation, like, you know somebody that is really good at something but is scared to start something, you know, instead of like maybe like getting upset with them for not, or, you know, just like changing the subject, like, it's important to recognize potential, because that's where people are, like, that's where like people are scared in, like, that's like the fear zone for like people. It's like when they're getting it. And it's like a lot of time, you know, what helps us reach a North Star is not just staring at the North Star, but it's like the people that are around us that are like pushing us on and like supporting us during the journey. And it's like, I think a lot of time, you know, we wait till somebody's done. You know, you got a friend that's like that's starting a business. You're like, that's cool, and then they're a millionaire, and then you're like, oh my god, blah blah blah, like blah blah blah. But it's like, yo, like I needed to hear this, and like I needed you to recognize me when I was in it, because I would have gotten this faster. I would have, you know, gotten you involved in this, or like whatever it is. You know, it's important to recognize that journey. Don't just wait for like somebody to finish, because I think people see that. I see that.
So like, what are some tangible things you can say to your friends if they're like doing something new, or like in school trying to finish a degree, to support them? Because I feel like it's easier to just be like, oh, support them on their journey, but what are some actual like tips, you know? Because I feel like you still have a hard time with this.
I went to an event a couple months ago, and I saw this guy that I'd been mutuals with for a while. He's a musician, and you know, I'm not the biggest fan of his music, I won't lie. It's just not my style. But I've always admired just how much he pushes his music, and how much he pushes content, and how he's always trying to be innovative around his content, and how like he's not stopping, and like he's not getting numbers, like he's not getting, like, he has a good amount of followers, but like he's not getting that engagement. Every now and then like he'll post whatever, but it's like you could see that like he's not getting traction like that. So when I saw him, you know, I told him, like, we were talking a little bit, and I told, like, one of the first thing I told him, I was like, yo, like, I just want to tell you that, like, I see how much effort you are putting into pushing your music, and like, forget the music, like, I see how much you're trying to make this work, and how much you're doing, and like, I just want to tell you that, like, that inspires me to push my own work. And like, you're not caring about what people say, you're not caring about the numbers, you were just trying to make this happen. And I recognize that, and I could see in his face that like that he hadn't heard something like that in a while, or ever, or whatever, versus, you know, just going, yo, I fuck with music, like, keep it up. It's like you could get a little bit more with it, you know,
like depth. I feel like that always is the thing that makes us go harder and actually want to continue with our endeavors, when someone actually sees us beyond just like the success, you know, because that's also personally what I love getting compliments on, like, rather than, oh, I love your work, I love your fashion design. So
if someone's like, yo, I see you posting 3 times a day, every single day, like, that's crazy, like that inspires me.
Like, I think one of my favorite compliments is just like, oh, I see how hard you work to get like your dream.
Recognize potential.
That's a good one. That's a good one, buddy.
For me,
I like that one, buddy. I like that one, buddy.
What you got? You gonna top that or no?
I don't know if I'm gonna.
Probably not.
I don't know if I'm gonna.
Probably not. Probably
but
not. You can try. You try.
Okay. Anyway, my next thing is listen more than talk. I think a lot of us, as we should, you know, we have a lot to say. Sometimes we don't have many people to talk to, so we're like overpouring, and that's fine. You know, we all have our days where we do that with our besties. But also, if you're the only one talking in a friendship or a relationship and you're not letting the other person speak, or you're speaking over them, or you just don't seem like interested and you're just getting all the talking in, they're not going to necessarily want to hang out with you again, because it feels like you don't care about what they're saying. They're not wanted in the relationship. And it just feels like you're dumping everything on them without allowing them to kind of have their chance, you know? So I feel like it's important to have a balance. Obviously, you can't just do the listening without having responses to the person speaking. But you should just be like a genuine person that's there to like listen and like offer feedback and offer advice, or just like be that person to like lean on. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
And facts. Because like who doesn't like talking about themselves? You know, like no one really. And so it's important to be like a listening friend, but also have that balance with talking.
Yeah. I was about to say that, like, to add on to that, like, on the opposite end, don't only listen and not try to speak as well. Yeah. Because, you know, for a lot of my introverts out there, a lot of my quiet ones out there.
You got some like personal experience?
What are you talking about?
No, I'm just asking. Like, why?
You think I'm quiet? Like, you think I don't know how to talk? Like, I could really talk all day. Like,
no, I know that. You have a podcast after all.
Yesterday we were walking in an airport, and like I was like, yeah, like I really like burgers, and then she was like, you should start a burger restaurant. I was like, yo, you goddamn immigrant! Not everything has to be about business. I could just like something and not want to make profit off of it. Let me just enjoy my burger.
God, you were the one that wanted to open a restaurant.
I never said anything about
new food.
Whenever I talk about food, she's like, you have to start a restaurant. Why don't you open up a restaurant? I'm like, shut the hell up, you goddamn immigrant, please. Bro, it's like her like don't always be talking about goddamn business. Like let a man eat his burger and let a man eat his chicken nuggets. Not have to worry about I know this was not good for me. I know I'm not doing anything beneficial, but I'm happy. Okay?
You have anything else to say, bro?
No, just like, yeah, for like my quiet ones, my introverts out there, like, don't only be quiet all the time and like, yeah, like you be like, yeah, I'm active listening. It's like it's like good, but like you also got to contribute to like a sort of conversation. And just a quick tip, something that I recognized recently, I told her before, if you're having trouble in conversation, instead of responding to what someone says,
trouble with like adding on to a conversation.
No, I don't have trouble to. Can I finish? You see how I was like in a sentence? But like, do you see how I was in a sentence? I'm just wondering, like, I'm curious, like, so instead of like responding to what somebody says, like if you're talking about like chicken nuggets with somebody, instead of responding, just add on. Don't respond, add on.
Give an example.
So they'll be like,
oh yeah, like I just had chicken nuggets the other day, like they were really yummy.
So me, instead of being like, that's a terrible example. So somebody's like, yeah, like I learned about this chicken farm the other day, and yeah, and me hearing that, I could be like, oh, okay, I don't know anything about that. That's technically a response.
Usually his response would be like, oh yeah.
Oh, I'll be like, oh, true, facts. Yeah. Instead of being that, be like, damn, like, you know, I remember in middle school I watched the chicken farm documentary. That shit really changed my life. Like that's really, it's like adding to it. Like it's like you remember that game in I'm blabbering. You remember that game in elementary school where like everyone would write a sentence, right, and then like do you know what I'm talking about? No, or say you have like a group of like 5 kids. And like the first person writes a sentence on a piece of paper, and then they hand it to the second person, and then they make a sentence, and it's like a story that like all 5 people are like taking wherever they want. So the first sentence could be like, I made a burger with lettuce and tomatoes, and then the second sentence,
it's kind of like that TikTok trend.
It's like, then I took the burger to my neighbor Sally, and then third person, you know, it's like adding.
Yeah.
Feel me?
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. What's up?
You're next.
What?
Yeah, I just said like less talking, more listening.
Be charismatic. Feel me? Yeah, you know? And always try to get other people involved too. Like something that I went to some of my friends Soham, and like I was talking to somebody and I saw Soham sitting, and I just like got Soham, I was like, oh, yo, come here. And then now we're all talking, you know, and like he like probably
no alienation.
He probably appreciated that, and you know that's a effect of, you know, trying to be, you know, garner a good environment, be charismatic, you know, get people involved, be like, not trying to be like a leader in any sense, but you know, just trying to be a curator. Like it's okay, like, you know, you're cool, I think you would like this guy, you know. That's why I've been trying to introduce like some of my friends to like some of my other friends, because you know, trying to be like that curator and trying to you know, like be like a memorable face.
And that necessarily doesn't mean like fake bubbly energy.
Yeah, no,
that just like means like
never.
What, like, how would you describe that?
Yeah, like be tailored, like and be authentic in any sort of you know, conversation. That's something that I always try, and I think it's hard.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't, because you have to be a little like quick-minded and like quick on your feet to like try to have a different sort of conversation or commentary with every single person in the world. But I mean, at the end of the day, we just get better with practice. But I think that's something that I've been trying to do more, is like be tailored with what I say to this person versus what I say to this person. And try to remember too. That's a big one. Remember something about them.
And I think that also like plays a role. Like you have to kind of realize what kind of person you are. For example, I'm more introverted nowadays. I prefer to be at home. Obviously, I can talk to people and go outside. I guess I'm an ambivert. But if my social battery is like drained, I'm not going to be able to do that. So I have the time at home to recharge and like, you know, feel whole as a person, and then I'll go out again after a day or two or whatever. But if you're just like low on your social battery, you're not going to be that type of like good friend to other people, because you're not like feeling the best yourself. So make sure you kind of assess like what kind of person you are first, and then build on top of that.
What kind of person am I?
I would say you're also an ambivert.
Think so?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't think I'm an introvert. I just think I'm quiet.
Yeah, but I'm not saying introvert as in like you're quiet. I'm saying introvert as in like you like being home. You like your time at home,
right?
Like I know one of my friends, he's a full extrovert. His social battery is renewed when he hangs out with people. He can hang out with people back to back every single day, even if he has a full-time job and like his own passions. And he gets like, you know, very happy when he's like with other people.
Not me.
That's what I'm saying. You're not an extrovert, but you're also not an introvert where you just stay at home completely.
I guess you're right.
As you want to take back like.
As always.
You want to take.
I take it back.
Okay.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. After this, I'll probably just want to be alone for a week. Do you have one?
Yeah, I do. Is that okay?
Go ahead. Last one. Please.
Last one.
Please.
Okay. Something that makes you attractive energy is when you remember the small little things, right? Something that you're getting kind of better at. Like, for example, there was a wedding that we had to go to recently, and I was going to be the one to, like, hit up my friend, like, oh, my God, I can't go. I have the flu, right? And you brought up the thing, like, oh, I'll text him, too, separately, which is a good thought. You didn't do it, but, like, it's a good thought. I will. And what I mean by this, like, being a good friend is one thing, you know, being there for them physically, giving them support, but also the days where you don't see them, the days where you miss them, just like doing the small things to really maintain that friendship. For example, like if they drop you off, if they drop you off, you'll be like, oh, let me know when you get home, and you actually genuinely mean it. Like, okay, text me for real when you get home, especially a girl. And then second, it's like birthdays, right? I know some people treat birthdays in a big way, some people don't care about it. Still text them a little happy birthday, you know?
Yeah,
like,
that's a big one.
Care about like it being at midnight. Save it in your calendar. Like, don't just wait until someone else posts about it to remember. Another third thing is like, if you miss them, tell them that you miss them, you know? Make like those small things to show them that you care about them, and, you know, send them those memes. Like, I feel like those small things just help so much, you know? Like, I personally am a person that remembers the small things that I need to do. For example, like birthdays, or like if I have to send someone money, I'm not going to wait for them to Venmo me, request me. I'm going to send it myself, you know? But I think that just like makes you more like approachable.
Yeah.
You know, because they see that you genuinely care.
Yeah. I love a good like Venmo forgetter.
Yeah, you know, like you think that like you do that. I feel like guys don't do that as often.
Well, forget Venmo?
No, not the Venmo specifically, just like the little things, like, oh, yo, miss you, man. Like, been thinking about
we just don't say it.
Yeah, that's
I remember. Like, I remember like a lot. I just don't say none.
No, I know, but why don't guys do that?
It's corny.
Yeah,
we see it as corny. We see it as, you know, feel me? But, you know, We get better at it. I would just say like never stop leveling up. Like never stop trying to improve on yourself, because that's what's gonna make you excited to be the best version of yourself. I think a lot of us get bored of like, or like can get bored of like self improvement or like self development, because like it could be like tiresome, or you know, we could never have like a end goal or like know where to go, especially if like we're trying to follow the footsteps of somebody else. So it's like never stop leveling up, never stop you know, practicing uniqueness, right? And trying to be yourself, and you know, you have no idea how happy you'll be when you begin to reach like your fullest potential. Like it'll be very liberating. Yeah. Feel me? Yeah. Yeah.
So, as always, you know, we end off our episodes with some of the responses that you guys send in on our Instagram. It's at Difficultish. That's where you can, you know, send in responses to our upcoming episodes, and maybe even have it featured in our episode.
Oh, my God.
Before we forget, do you want to put, podcast? Like, an emoji of the week?
Yeah, what's up? For this emoji, you know, let me have some oranges for my Tropicana orange juice. Florida, the sunshine state.
All right, so on our story we put that we are making an episode on how to become a magnet and attract good energy. What tips do you have for having a positive presence and curating a healthy space for you and the people around you?
Beautifully written.
Yes. And my bestie, she sent in a little response. She wrote, I've been saying it's okay to myself whenever something goes wrong to reassure myself.
Be nice to yourself. Be kind to yourself.
Because that energy also goes to other people, right?
You're going through it.
Because I feel like an example that kind of might be relatable for many people is that, you know, if we got a bad grade when we were growing up. Dumbo, stupid. Hey. You're a stupid head. Yeah. You know, and it would be like a 96. And then we would like internalize that failure, you know, for our whole lives, really. You know, a lot of us are still kind of trying to unlearn that. And I feel like if we had gotten more like positive words of affirmation, like it's not healthy to constantly get like negative treatment to something, right? Like we should have the level of like pride from our parents, or like the level of pride from our friends, if we're trying our best at the end of the day.
Yeah, because like a lot of times brown people, like our goals are created by other people, you know, like the achievements that we're chasing, like were embedded to us by other people, you know. So, and like you gotta make things about you. You gotta want to do better for you like not do better because somebody else, because that's what will, like, doing it for somebody else is what creates disappointment. You know, if you do it for yourself, yeah, you might fail, but you never look at that failure as like a real failure. It's just like a stepping stone to get better.
Yeah. Someone said to be grounded and accept and be curious about all emotions. I think having humility is very important.
Why?
Because you're not a stuck-up prick.
What's wrong with that?
Like, if you're constantly around someone who's like show-offy, it's like always showing off their car, their fancy like accomplishments, their house, like blah blah. I really like those people. It's just very superficial, and it feels very like they're just flaunting these things to be better than you. Whereas if you have someone that has, you know, gratitude, that is constantly aware of what it took for them to get there, their background of, you know, their history of everything that happened, it just feels better to talk to them because they understand the hardships and they don't just take everything for granted, you know?
Yeah. Speak by action.
Hey, what's that mean?
I don't know.
Okay.
Next one.
All right. Someone said, I think always being open-minded and empathetic to your environment and people you interact with.
Be open-minded.
Yeah, that's what Facts. I just said. That's what I literally.
Yeah, you know, don't be no judgmental thing. You know, like don't go into like a rock concert and be like, oh my god, all these goddamn rockers. Like, no, like you gotta it's okay to like, you know, try something new, like try to see from somebody else's point of view, you know, because I think it's some of the most like experimental things I've done in my life. Yeah. That, you know, other people might shade, or, you know, like I used to go to the country club.
Oh,
I'm not gonna lie.
Why?
I'm not gonna lie. I used to go to the country club with my Guyanese boy Enrique, and we would go play some billiards, you know, with Bob and Dylan, and we'd have a great time. You know, they'd be
Bob
having
and Dylan, not Bob.
They'd be having their IPAs and their pale ales and their high noons and their Coronas, and you know, I'd just be catching a little vibe. Like it's okay to like catch a little vibe sometimes. Like you don't always gotta be like, feel me? Like it's okay to like try something new, and like, you know, it's okay to like. The
story is catch a
vibe.
Catch a vibe.
Good one.
Good one,
Shorty?
buddy. Good one, buddy.
Good one. Just Shorty?
You did good with this one.
Okay.
Hands are a little sweaty.
Mine are not.
It's actually
one of ours is.
It's actually mine.
One of ours is. Yeah, what's up?
10-second advice.
Labyrinth Ave collection dropping soon. I advise you to purchase it.
I advise you to have some text notifications
because it's actually
you do not have to purchase.
It's actually kind of fire. Like not even the designs, like the actual like the fit of like the clothing, like is different. Like it's not no.
You like this one over last year's?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah,
a lot more.
We're leveling up.
Actually, it's like you followed my advice.
Oh,
for me, so it's like be like her. You know,
a lot of the clothing is based off of his fits. But you know, at the end of the day, all in all, I'm proud of you as a person for putting your best foot forward and always trying hard.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got any 10-second advice?
That was my advice.
What?
Buy your clothing.
No.
If you're in like a rut.
Yeah.
Or if you have a big, you know, roadblock.
Yeah. It's
okay to like step backward and like pivot and shift and then move forward and hopefully, you know, become aligned with, you know, your true path a little bit later. Yeah. You know, feel me? So it's like, yeah, it's like if, feel me?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Nah, just like it's okay to take a step back, to take a step forward. Yeah. A lot of us are scared to, you know.
I got you.
Feel me?
Now I get it. Now that you broke it down, I got it.
Type shit.
My advice, something that I've told him, is you will feel more control of your life when you stop trying to control the life around you. God. You like that one?
Holy moly!
You like that
guacamole.
Who would have thought that would come out right now? Huh?
Where that one come from? Not you. Not you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Snapped. All right.
But anyways,
thank you guys so much for listening.
We love you guys.
This episode difficult-ish is like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, rate the podcast episode, and review the podcast. And
make sure to follow us
on Instagram and TikTok and LinkedIn and YouTube.
But we love you guys so much, and we'll see you.
And we love you so much. And we'll see you later.
Allah Hafiz.
Bye.
Bye.